All right. Let's get started. Gateway, do you have any updates?
Hello. Today we released one major update, which relates also to fixing 502 malformed requests, malformed URLs in the requests that we experienced in the past. That will be fixed.
So I think, was that already done last week? Like, what changed?
No. We fixed it last week. I mean, we found what happened. The upgrade took time because it required upgrade basically whole cluster.
Okay. All right, Shutter.
Hello, Yusra from Shutter team. Ulo is on holiday, so I'm the one giving an update. So not too many developments on our side as we were on a team retreat, but I think Ulo had a meeting with Mark and Alexei to discuss peer-to-peer issues and how to improve the connectivity between validators and keepers. And I think we also gave like read-only access to our peer-to-peer net metrics. We've also run like a test to see the inclusion percentage, and it's we only had like 3.6 failed transactions, so that's a good number. And that's it.
I'm assuming that was 3.6%, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right, Hive tests.
Oh, nothing new regarding Hive.
And for Ethereum tests, or yeah, Ethereum tests.
Okay, hello guys. Well, last week we added Nethermind and Gnosis support for Ethereum execution spec test. This week we run all the existing tests and fixed some small bugs in TAN. I'm working on the standardizing JSON RPC errors message to align with Geth. We also started generating product tests, but encountered some issues running them initially, which are now solved. And currently we are implementing product-related logic in THN, after which we will generate Gnosis break test. So additionally, the Nethermind state blockchain test runner for Gnosis is ready.
Sorry, can you repeat the last part?
The Nethermind state blockchain test runner for Gnosis is ready.
Awesome. Nethermind, general updates.
Hello. So for now, we are focusing on release. Right now, we are on the phase of testing release branch. Everything looks healthy, but we still have some issues which we spotted, and we want to solve them before any release. But yeah, probably release should be ready and released at Monday.
But it also, if I can add, it also depends on the Spectra plans, because there is a possibility that on Monday we will expect releases for testnets. I'm not sure if it will happen. It depends on the next core devs call.
Yeah, that was with assumption that previous plans for testnets are still valid, but maybe it can be changed tomorrow. So, but for now we are targeting Monday.
Yeah, okay, makes sense. And what's the like updates on this release?
Mostly stability and focusing around Spectra. We've added we've added support for new chains, but this is not Gnosis related. And few updates about Gnosis, for example, we fixed the issue which will happen on about receipts on archive nodes, and we also improved our tooling to fix existing nodes, which got impacted. Wondering what else specific from Gnosis, Marek? Maybe you have something?
Yes, and generally performance improvements as always, but also 4.4 era export import will be in this release. Of course, it doesn't mean that we have to enable it or something like that, but it is included in this release.
Okay, yeah, then I think we should definitely start exporting and posting to BitTorrent then, I guess, so that we can start playing with this.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rospa from our team will probably start reaching out to you after we'll discuss it internally a little bit, so how we can progress with applying that to Gnosis.
Awesome, perfect. Anything else on your side?
No.
I think that's all.
All right, let's move on to Erigon.
Yeah, so we are also focusing on our releases and trying to align it with Pectra. So for Pectra, both Erigon 3 and Erigon 2 will support it. But for Fusaka, Fusaka will not be supported in Erigon 2. So yeah, we'll have this window of opportunity for users to migrate from Erigon 2 to Erigon 3 before Fusaka. But I'm actually, to me, a release on Monday for a Pectra ready release on Monday sounds a bit unrealistic because DevNet 6 hasn't launched yet, but I guess we'll discuss it at the OCO Devs tomorrow.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's what we, as in Nethermind, we will be adjusting for that for sure, but just mentioning initial plan.
Yes, but the initial plan on the last consensus client calls, it was that it will be Monday, but I assume that it might change. So we will be ready anyway, but we will see tomorrow.
Yeah, and perhaps Somnath or Milan have some extra updates.
No updates from my side.
I just wanted to ask if Gnosis DevNet 1 for Pectra is running well for Erigon, because there have been quite a bit of recent fixes that should fix the DevNet 1. And
Yeah, let's talk about the DevNet a bit after, so we go through all the updates first, and then I had planned to talk about the DevNet anyways.
thank you.
Wrath, any updates?
Not much. So there are two issues. One is I talked about the state root mismatch with Nethermind. So that seems to go away if I deploy the deposit contract before I do anything. So I think Geth and Nethermind differs when there's a system call to the deposit contract when the contract is not present. So I'll look into that, but that's not an issue for now. So our processing is wrong for blobs. So that's something I'm working on right now.
That's just while going through Cancun though, right? Because before it worked.
Yes. Which one?
The state root mismatch with Nethermind.
Oh, yeah. So earlier, okay, I'll tell you when I faced the state root mismatch. I am testing out these features, the blob thing in isolation. So what I'm doing is, there are two blocks, block 0 and block 1 and block 2. Block 1 is empty. Like first it was empty, that there's nothing. And in block 2, I am doing a blob transaction. So block 1 causes a state root mismatch when the deposit contract is not deployed. But if block 1 deploys the contract, then the state root mismatch is gone. So this is only happening in isolated testing, not when it's syncing mainnet or anything.
But that's when you start on
Yes, that's
Cancun.
when we start after Cancun.
Okay, because there was another issue. I think you said about the transition between Cancun and between Chapela and Cancun.
Yes, that also seems to go away when the deposit contract is deployed. So earlier we didn't know this because all the tests that we had either were pre-Shanghai or every test after Shanghai had the deposit contract in it. But yeah.
Okay, and then the second issue, sorry, what was that?
So that Reth has the wrong constants for blob, but many of the constants are hard-coded in the EIP file. So I have to see how to change them in Reth Gnosis. Unless we do that, there'll be like gas accounting issues for it, like for only for block transactions.
Okay, so the next step, I guess, is then a PR on the rest repo.
There are two ways. We can either do a PR on Ret, asking them to make it readable from the chain config, or we implement our custom TX pool, which is the route I don't want to take, but yeah.
But you know what? You can explore another direction, and I think it should work because recently for Pectra, all EL clients added configs for blobs, and I expect that Ref did it as well. So this is EIP 7840. So it means that every client should support this config, and it means that you should be able for Gnosis just to change config. And this is recent addition for Pectra, but it will help Gnosis in the Cancun context.
Yes. That's actually a great point, because the last time I updated the upstream Ret, that was I think in November, starting of November. I should do another upgrade now, and hopefully these features are there. Thanks.
Yes, I think it should be in Ref upstream.
Yes, I'll do a upgrade.
Awesome. That sounds like progress. All right, let's talk about the DevNet then. So the latest DevNet is based on Ethereum DevNet 5, right? Which was the latest last week at least. What's the current state? I guess Carlos isn't here. Is anyone else? Yeah, Dmitro?
Yeah, I can tell about QA state. So I finally managed to set up my validator against DevNet, and it seems working, but there are a couple of issues with $Explorer. So when I click on my validator with $Explorer, it just it cannot display. It failed by timeout. So maybe Explorer is not ready for Pectra yet. So we will need to check this with Carlos. Yeah, and after this, I will continue with testing consolidation. So yeah.
Yeah, Marek?
Yeah, so Dora Explorer is for sure ready for Pectra. Maybe it's something specific to Gnosis. I don't know what is the issue. Maybe Carlos just needs to update the version. But if you have still problems, then we can reach out to author of Dora because he's working on EF DevOps team. And how is DevNet generally? Because I feel like this was missing updates.
I generally I think that this DevNet has some bad states because the most of validators actually down, and during setuping of my validator, I saw some errors. Yeah, and generally I think this DevNet about 1 day. I don't think this is good for DevNet. So maybe the best option is to wait for DevNet 6 and check everything here.
So what was the issue with spinning up the validator you deposited with the 00 credentials?
It was a issue that in Dora Explorer it displayed as invalid deposit. Yeah. And I forked I forked a stake deposit CLI and created some config for DevNet. After that, I generated new keys, and it works with it.
Got it. So you're the address that starts with CC4E, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So in Dora, they say all of them are valid, actually. Anyways, when is Spectra DevNet 6 planned for?
So I think it will be decided tomorrow on all core devs. The only thing that we're kind of missing is that probably there will be update in some contracts, in system contracts. And I think we can wait for tomorrow call, and after this call, we can set up a Gnosis version of DevNet 6.
Okay, sounds good. And Carlos is running the validators for Erigon and Nethermind too, or who's running that?
I think that's the case, but unfortunately, that's not good.
Carlos is traveling today.
Ah, right.
He will be available later today, so we can confirm with him. But
yeah, it would definitely be nice for him to join the next call at least.
Yeah.
Okay, so then I guess we don't really know the state of the latest Erigon Spectra DevNet 5 version on the Gnosis QI, on the Gnosis DevNet, I mean.
Dmitro, can you check on that after the call so we can give an update offline?
Sorry, what to check?
What's the configuration of DevNet? Did Carlos included Erigon and how it behaves?
Okay, but I don't think, because I saw today that the most of Erigon not displayed as down validator. But I will check also today, double check.
Okay, I think very likely, because Andrew, Sanat, you can confirm if I'm wrong, you guys did recently some fixes to Erigon. It was the same on Spectra DevNet, on mainnet Spectra DevNet 5. So maybe Erigon nodes should be updated, and it will solve the issue.
Yeah, probably Somnat made a few fixes recently. Are you using? Do you know off the top of your head, like what's the Erigon version? Or who knows? Is it Carlos?
If you go to the page that Philip has sent, and version is there.
Yeah, so it's 3000. Well, that's all it says. 3.00.0.
Let me check on that after the call. It should be on GitHub, and the exact Docker image used.
Seems like some nodes were able to go to Brock 68,000 something, but then some stopped in between, so yeah, a bit weird. But okay, so let's wait for Carlos to be available, and then we'll try to do this offline so that we can do some progress until next week. But okay, so I guess that's it for today, or is there anything else to discuss? Okay, well, let's keep it at that then. We also have to deploy the contracts for the consolidation requests, but we can do that internally, so no problem on that side. Marek?
You said that you want to deploy the contracts. I would say that just wait one more day for all core devs, because I think there will be address change, so the transaction will be different.
Okay.
Yeah. They managed to do some fancy addresses names with a lot of zeros and with EIP number. So every address contains EIP number at the end.
Nice. All right. Well, then, thanks for joining, and see you next week.
Yeah.
Bye, guys.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.